You may now begin your presentation.
When the room is dark, where do you look? Do you look around peering into shadows, or do you focus on what's clearly visible from the light? One spotlight can illuminate a single point very well and leave the surroundings obscured. But sometimes, what we need to see is not lit.
Each social challenge our team faced was like a room with only one spotlight. All of the resources, efforts, and solutions of the world were focused on that one area illuminated in the light. This year, Enactus Utah Valley University strived to look beyond what was clearly visible and see what solutions were still hidden. With each social problem our team faced, we shifted the spotlight, bringing new solutions and communities out of darkness.
After competition season last year, we prepare ourselves with project management knowledge, leadership training, revenue-generating projects, and corporate engagement.
We worked with all kinds of people, including veterans. We developed a one-of-a-kind program to address the real needs of Utah veteran business owners. We will work hard to increase the size and growth of these companies. The 9-week training program kicks off later this week, and we are excited to share the results next year.
With our increased preparation, we tackled 9 different projects this year, including the one Parker just mentioned. Today, we'll focus on 2 of those, beginning in the jungles of Congo and ending in the mountains of Utah to give an extra push.
Meet Annabelle. He has agreed to let us take you on a walk in his shoes as an entrepreneur in Congo. Let's see things from his perspective. You begin each day hoping to make about 2,000 SIFA, or only about $2, which you need to pay for your rented room, which has a dirt floor, no running water, no electricity, and an orange tarp roof with 6 family members relying on you, including your newborn son. If you're lucky today, you'll make enough after rent to buy some cassava or chicken for the 1 meal you have per day.
And even though you and 50% of your friends are college graduates, degree or no degree, there are no jobs. Over 80% of ages 18 to 30 in Brazzaville are unemployed, and only 7% have a regular job.
But you're not worried about the statistics. Your only job today is to survive.
Luckily, Annabelle was accepted into an entrepreneurial training program called Entrade. Entrade was originally an Enactus project several years ago, but has now trained over 3,000 graduates, started 231 businesses, and helped employ over 5,000 Congolese. However, the founder, Volkan Yango, mentioned that the failure rate of these businesses was around 95%. He reached out to our team for help on what we could do.
Yango reached out to our team to find an innovative way to improve the success rates of his Entrade graduates. Collaboratively, we developed a project plan during his visit to UVU last October, and our project, Energize Congo, was born. We maintained regular communication via Skype, email, and WhatsApp when electricity cooperated, which was not that often. Because none of us had ever been to the Congo, we were skeptical about taking on this project, but Yango assured us he could bridge the social and cultural gaps and manage our solution long term. So, we took a step out of our comfort zones and into the dark, with Yango as our guide.
We knew we first needed to understand these graduates and walk in their shoes, so we conducted a very detailed needs analysis. After obtaining travel funds to Congo, we performed focus groups and surveyed 450 entrepreneurs in Brazzaville, the capital of Congo. We learned firsthand the many causes of small business failure and what needed to change.
One challenge is that Congolese need at least $4 just to survive each day. But Annabelle made only $2 per day from his business.
Most new entrepreneurs in Congo start businesses based on commodity products, increasing the supply without expanding the demand. This creates deflation of prices, shrinking the economies, and lowered the income of these entrepreneurs.
We saw that entrepreneurial training and money alone would not improve the success of these new entrepreneurs. They needed to reduce the uncertainty, variability, and risk of new business models. They needed something that would bring economic value. They needed a micro franchise.
What's a micro franchise?
I'm so glad you asked. A micro franchise is a business in a box that is accessible to low-income, newly trained entrepreneurs. A micro franchise is a product or a service that delivers a unique value to the market. Our Enactus micro franchise even takes it one step further and addresses the environmental, social, and economic impact of the business. We'll show you how our micro franchise impacted the livelihood of those in Congo.
There's a high demand of electricity in Congo, where 57% have no access to power, and others need loud, polluting, expensive gas generators to back up the grid. We created 3 solar business models focused on expanding the reach of electricity to the poor and replacing the abundance of gas generators. We then work with Congolese to determine the best model.
After learning that each Congolese owns at least 2 cell phones, we decided to investigate a phone charging business created by Annabelle.
His 2-year-old phone charging kiosk relied on sporadic power grid and gas generator power. 100 customers a day paid him 100 CFA per charge. His business generated decent revenue, but it was inefficient and it cannot be duplicated to new locations.
With a better understanding of the situation, our Enactus team, with the Entrade students, drafted the blueprints of a new solar design and forecasted significantly improved performance. We set out to source suppliers, and at first, we wanted to import kiosk components directly from Asia. But after identifying local suppliers who could meet our needs, we felt a local, reliable supply chain offered lower total landed costs, reduced the risks, and improved the economic benefit of the business by providing local jobs. Sam and Bo, our project leads, then gave the new solar specifications to the best welder, cabinet maker, and electrician in the area. Together, we created the first prototype.
After 3 days of assembly, we powered up the electrical system expecting immediate success. And our inverter blew up. With a quick pivot and a new inverter in place, our prototype worked like a champ. Our innovative new design drew huge crowds the first day. Many had never seen solar panels ever before. The festive lights and speakers also drew huge crowds at nights. In the first week, our kiosk earned 13,000 CFA by phone charging alone.
Our team then wrote the franchise manual and the marketing plan. Together with the Congolese, we named the kiosk Solar Charge.
Our solar charge kiosk is slightly more expensive to create, but it greatly reduces the operating costs in many ways. Annabelle's new average $600 per month net income is after all lease payments to Entrade, the master franchise. For the first 3 months of operation, each franchisee pays 50% of daily revenues back to Entrade. This creates sustainable revenue to build and expand more kiosks every 4 months. This will scale to over 40 new kiosks in 1 year. The initial revenue of $10,000 per month will scale to $98,000 per month, or $1.2 million per year cumulatively from the initial investment of just $1,000 by our BAB chair, Jim Ritchie.
That's an amazing return on investment.
And even more Congolese want to participate. When we publicly announced the opportunity to become a franchise in Congo, we had over 400 people wait in line for 3 hours just to apply for the chance.
This project has had a direct impact socially on the trained applicants, franchisees and family members they care for, and the customers we provide power to each day. Environmentally, by eliminating gas generators with their noise and pollution. And economically, by creating jobs with our suppliers who build 5 kiosks per month and 5 full-time staff hired by Entrade. This new business provides a true Enactus, triple bottom line, directly supporting 10 of 17 UN SDGs.
Wait, an SD what?
Sustainable Development Goals.
Oh, that's right.
By stepping into the dark, we impacted the life of Annabelle and changed the future of many other entry graduates. Annabelle is now officially in the middle class and have plenty of cassava and chicken to support his family.
This change was also seen in the life of Cameron as we continued to push progress forward.
Cameron has cerebral palsy, but that's not the only thing he suffers from. What Cameron and hundreds of other wheelchair-bound individuals suffer from is an isolation from their peers. 67% feel uncomfortable talking to a person with disabilities, and 20% avoid talking to them at all. This isolation is not by choice, but often people just don't know how to reach out to those in wheelchairs, and naturally, an isolation occurs.
1 in 20 in the US are mobility disabled and often invisible to those around them, leading to 65%, just like Cameron, craving more company in their lives. For our team, it was an easy decision to continue our partnership with the Run On organization. Run On integrates students in wheelchairs through high school track and cross country. The founder, Mac, grew up his whole life with Cameron and wanted Cam to participate in everything that he did. They rode jet skis, they went to school dances, and during their junior year of high school, they even ran cross country together. Seeing Cameron's joy from that day, Mac continues to help wheelchair-bound individuals all over Utah participate.
We grew Run On to 9 different high schools throughout the state, and it's still growing. The challenge that Mac faced, however, was trying to address the needs of whole communities. He knew others outside of high school wanted to participate, and he asked our team to assist.
With excitement, we went forward with the first step of any project, validating the needs. We wanted to see if community members were actually interested in participating. The needs analysis was simple. We invited feedback from assisted living homes. However, due to HIPAA regulations, it was difficult to pinpoint the number of individuals in wheelchairs in a given home. But still, the feedback that we received was overwhelming. Assisted living coordinators emphasized the need and the desire that their tenants had to get out and participate in their communities.
Our solution was a 5K and 10K with other track and field activities. We spent all summer researching, planning, and preparing for the event. We tried to overcome the costs that we had of marketing, swag, awards, and even liability. However, one obstacle after another showed us that maybe creating our own event would not have the impact that we wanted. So we pivoted and focused instead on established races.
The project manager then contacted several races, including 5Ks, half marathons, and even Ragnar, and received an outpouring of support from these events wanting to partner with Run On.
We set up booths at our university to see if students wanted to participate in these races. And within 2 hours of these booths being set up, we had received over 50 registration forms showing that students would do what it took to participate in these races.
With the need confirmed, we focused on our first opportunity, a 5K race with Ethan. Ethan has been participating with Run On through his high school and wanted to get out even more. When he heard that we were partnering with a local race, he and his teacher immediately signed up. Here's what Ethan's teacher had to say after the race.
I don't know, he's just changed in the year and a half I've had him, just to see how much people love him, and I think it's just that exposure of him being out on a team and like, I'm out here, I can do anything else anyone else is doing.
The opportunity to participate in community races not only benefits the athlete, but also the parents, peers, and sponsors.
Another Run On athlete, Kate, and her mother wrote a letter to Mac. Kate's mother explained the joy that she has while seeing Kate participate with those around her, and how hopeful she is of Kate's future.
Ethan's teacher told us his example indirectly impacted the lives of other special ed students. She now has 2 on the cheerleading team and 1 on student council. And these feelings of empowerment, previously felt by high school individuals, will now be felt by wheelchair-bound individuals of any age throughout the community.
And Run On sponsors like So Delicious are happy to see the wheelchairs being put to more use. Run On makes money by selling advertising space on the sides of the wheelchairs. These advertisements cost $1,000 for 1 year of high school races. For the new community races, sponsors pay an additional fee for the increased recognition. These fees vary depending on the length of the race and size of the crowds. Previously, these advertisements were seen only during high school events. Now, the advertisements are being seen by thousands more, giving the businesses who promote this cause an even greater return on their investments, financially and socially.
The main goal in this project has been reached. We were able to shine a light on an isolated community in Utah and bring them out of the void.
This is what Enactus is all about. It is about shining the light on the areas that need to be seen and not the areas that are already visible.
Energize Congo showed us that even when a spotlight is lit, it can still miss the mark. Our needs analysis showed us more money does not solve recurring problems, and difficult challenges require unique solutions. We designed a new solar phone charging kiosk that will generate revenue, create jobs, reduce pollution, and save money for the poor. By fitting the solution to the problem, 21 entrepreneur lives and their families were changed. Success rates at Entrade are improved, and whole communities are literally brightened.
In the Run-On Community Race program, we were able to validate 4 assumptions. First, that students don't know how to reach out to those in wheelchairs. Second, that students are willing to push an athlete when given the opportunity. And third, that a single athlete can empower several others in wheelchairs to do more. And fourth, companies want to be involved in these social causes. With more than 20 races partnering with Run-On this year, it is time to clear misconceptions and lift all within the community, changing the social outlook of individuals in wheelchairs.
These outcomes and more are the results of students who have taken entrepreneurial action for those who need it most. Because we, students, have the power to shine a light on the most obscure problems and identify innovative solutions, bringing those who feel deserted back into their communities.
We
Our
Enactus Utah Valley University.
We are just one of the many teams that seek to better the world around us.
And by bettering it, we brighten it.
So, how will you brighten yours?
Thank you, Utah Valley University. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
Thank you. Could you tell me how the Run-On project is sustainable? Who's managing it going forward?
So Run-On is sustainable through, can you hear me? Run-On is sustainable through selling the advertising space on the sides of the wheelchairs. Just this year, if we were to turn off the gas and just coast, we would still have $30,000 in revenue from selling the ad space, and that takes a $12,000 a year employee, part-time employee to run that. And so the additional revenues we're just going to use to continue to buy more wheelchairs and continue to expand.
That was excellent. Just regarding the Congo and ongoing sustainability and also failure rate, how do you actually continue to measure that and make sure it continues to grow in the right way?
By failure rate, do you mean the failure rate of the kiosk or
The failure rate of the franchise
the franchise?
itself.
So when we were in the Congo, to make sure that this would be a sustainable business, we worked on developing the franchise manual so that these franchisees would have something to follow, as well as establishing the sales process that they would need to follow as well. Annabelle, the initial franchisee, is also the master trainer as part of his contract with Entrade. So as these new kiosks are built and brought into the market, Annabelle works with these franchisees to continue to help them develop and grow.
Back to the Congo, how do you ensure that the 50% of the revenue actually comes and that they aren't skimming money off the side, or all of a sudden a kiosk disappears and goes over to Uganda?
It's an excellent question, and that's definitely a concern, but with Entrade, and especially with Yango, as these are his graduates and the people he's trained, there's a relationship between the franchisees and Entrade, and that relationship is maintained and monitored by Entrade at this time.
Can you give us some more color on how you lowered the business fixed cost in Energize Congo from $312 a month to $19? Just give us a little more color on that, please.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you
Can you just give us a little more color on how you lowered the business fixed cost in Congo from $312 a month to $19 a month?
Yeah, so we lowered the variable cost associated with it. The manufacturing cost of the kiosk is more expensive than originally built. But the reason is because we're using better materials than Annabelle had originally had. but by lowering the cost of the gas generator and the repairs and maintenance on the cheaper materials, that drastically lowers the operating cost and the variable cost, which triples his net income at the end of the month.
Hello, for the Congo project, you have people coming, charging phones, standing around, waiting. What other opportunities did you explore to generate revenue, other social good, other activities while people are waiting for the phones to be charged?
Yeah. One of the great things about these kiosks is that beyond the phone charging business, they sell other things as well, from portable batteries to lights, and they have speakers attached to them. So while the people are waiting for their phones to be charged, it's more of a community event where people can gather and socialize and bring that community together.
And on top of that, most people own 2 cell phones, so while they drop one cell phone off, they'll go to work and let it charge during the day, and then pick it up at the end of the day and switch out for the other cell phone battery.
Can you share where the initial capital comes from for the generators for the Congo project? Because I see that it is maybe $100 more than where the previous, but even in the previous model, I'm curious where the capital came from.
So the invested capital by the franchisees initially was a lot higher, but by the initial investment of our B&B chair, Jim Ritchie, we were able to produce that first prototype. And now the franchisees just have to pay for their inventory first. So that capital, it went from about $200 to $700 of the materials and building and maintenance down to $85 to $75 of inventory when they first start. And that's what lowers the return, or lowers the cost of the out-of-pocket for the franchisees.
How do you track the actual revenue? I mean, I know that 50% goes, and that question was already asked, but what's the methodology to track when someone's actually charged a phone and where that revenue goes?
The question and answer time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the Enactus team from Utah Valley University.